Hi YouTube, so I wanted to talk a little bit on some tips that you can remember when you want to litter train your ferret. I have Bandit and Percy here, but basically I just wanted to talk about some tips and tricks that I found that works for me when I litter trained my ferret. Now when I got Wesley, he was in a super pet cage. And if you're familiar with those, they have the plastic bin base. So basically you can put any type of bedding in the bottom of those and it won't get flung out. Now his previous owners used clay cat litter, which isn't really an ideal litter for ferrets. It's really dusty. Hi Percy, don't jump. Oh my gosh, he just jumped on me. Sorry. Anyway, so you're bad boy there. Anyway, so when you're picking a litter for your ferret, you don't want to use clay cat litter. It's really dusty and those fine particles can get up in their nose and in their eyes, and it's just not really a pleasant experience for them. The same goes for clumping cat litter. You don't want to, Percy, stop. You don't want to use anything clumping litter. Ferrets like to scoot their butts after they go to the bathroom, and if they scoot their butt in their litter pan, they can get that in their butt. Percy, what are you doing? You're weird. And it can cause a lot of problems. Same goes if they sniff it. It's like sniffing cement. It gets stuck in their nose and just causes a lot of nasty issues. So I'm going to show here. Like, I usually have 2 litter pans in my cage. I took one out for demonstration purposes. Now a lot of people, when they're starting out, they'll use a litter pan like this. It's a small corner little litter pan. Here's Wesley for comparison next to the litter pan. As you can see, there's not a lot of room. If I put him in it, if he'll stay in it, you can see he can barely get his whole body in it. Now, this pan would be okay for a smaller ferret like Percy. You've seen how big he is. Ferrets like to get all 4 feet in the litter pans when they go to the bathroom, so this choice isn't really ideal. And over here I have one. It's a kind of a corner pan. I think it's a Super Pet Long John pan. Now I'll put Wesley in it if he'll stay. He's being very antsy. You can see, sort of, that there's a little bit more room, but it's really not that much. And this is my favorite type. It is a lock-on litter pan. It's very big. There's Wesley in it. So when your ferret goes to the bathroom, he can get all 4 feet and back right up in that corner and go to the bathroom. So that's my favorite kind of pan, and I like that it locks. It locks onto the cage, so you can hook it and your ferrets can't try and tip it. Now Wesley managed to break this one, so he does like to toss it around the cage. Thankfully he doesn't dump it completely, but it's still kind of a pain. If you don't have a locking pan, you can use different clips or drill holes in it and put carabiner clips through it. That I've heard good results with that. So that's my favorite type of litter pan. Now, as far as my choice of litter goes, you can use this litter here. It is Yesterday's News. It is a recycled paper pellet. There are a couple other brands just like it. Fresh News is one. It's marketed towards cats. And Marshall Ferret litter. Now, I went with Yesterday's News because it is by far the cheapest. I think I paid $7 for a huge bag, whereas Marshall litter is about $12 in my area for a small bag that would probably be used up in filling up 2 or 3 of these big pans. Since I used up the rest of this Yesterday's News, I now use woodstove pellets. And these, I keep them in a big bucket here. They're just compressed sawdust pellets. They're not real big. You can get these at Walmart, Home Depot, Tractor Supply. They are $5 for a 40-pound bag, and about one of the best values you can get as far as litter goes. I just store them in my attic, and there's Percy in the litter box. You can see he fits in that a little better. But anyway, as far as the pellets go, I go through maybe a bag a month now since I have 2 ferrets. So, oh, thank you, Percy. I just cleaned that. Because you can see he doesn't mind the smaller boxes. But as far as value goes, the woodstove pellets are definitely your best value. Now, when you set up your cage and you have a ferret who's not litter trained, or you're not sure they're litter training, what you can do is you should take all the bedding out. Don't leave anything. And then what you would want to do is put water in one corner like I have here. You would put the litter in another corner. Put all ramps up. Take out all the shelves. You just leave it one level. It seems kind of boring, but it's going to help your ferret get used to using a litter pan. Then you would want to put a bed or a hammock or something in that corner, and then take a food bowl and put it in your last corner. Now, ferrets normally will not poo where they sleep, eat, or drink. So this is limiting their options about where they can go in the bathroom. Now, sometimes you'll get a difficult ferret who has no qualms about pooing right in the middle of the floor. That would be Wesley. I had a lot of fun trying to litter train him because, like I said, his owners, he could go wherever he wanted in his cage because the whole bottom was a litter pan. So what you can do, and this is what I found works for me, my ferrets do not like to go to the bathroom on any kind of blankets. So what I have these custom Ferret Nation cage bedding sets, and this is just fleece. Like, this is an old t-shirt. You can put these down, just use a scrap of old fleece, and that is what has worked for my ferrets. They do not like to go to the bathroom on it because it's something soft. It's something they know they sleep in, and that's what's helped them. Another thing is putting the litter box on both levels. My ferrets are very lazy, and they do not like to walk from, say, the top down to the bottom to go to the bathroom. So that's how I would go about setting up your cage. Now, another thing is, when your ferret's in his cage, we'll demonstrate with Wesley. When your ferret's in his cage and you're ready to let him out for the morning, make sure that he goes to the litter pan before you let him out. And then what you want to do is, if he's not going to the litter, put him in the pan. And you repeat this. You'll probably repeat it at least 10 times. They'll just hop out. What you want to do is watch and see if they're backing up into a corner that isn't appropriate for them to use, and put them in that litter pan. It's very repetitive. It can get really frustrating, but it'll pay off in the end. That's how Wesley was. He would hop out, not go to the bathroom. And I had the hardest time because he would just not go in the litter pan. He would hop out and go right in front of it. And that's when you have to be really diligent about putting them back in the pan and being firm and not letting them out until they go to the bathroom. And then once they do go to the bathroom in the litter pan, you want to make a huge deal about it. Tell them how good they are and give them a little lick of Ferritone. Not too much, because that's all they need. So make a big deal about it. Say, "Oh, good boy, good boy." And they do pick up on that, and they know, and they want to make you happy. So keep praising them when they use the litter pan, and just keep up on it. And then once they get better in the cage, you can move to litter training around the house. This is the part that is the most difficult. Ferrets are not like cats, and they really don't care where they are when they have to go to the bathroom. I remedy this by putting litter pans all around my house. If you have corners, put them in the corners. I used to have one over here. I moved it for our demonstration, but put them around your house. I put towels down to help safeguard. I've heard some people like to use carpet runners along the baseboards, so if their ferret has an accident, it doesn't stain the carpet. This is a great idea. So there are a lot of tips and tricks, and if your ferret, Wesley, you're so weird. If your ferret has an accident, be sure to clean it up right away. I've said before, I really like Nature's Miracle. It's an enzyme cleaner, so it gets rid of that smell, and it makes that spot where they've had their accident not smell like ferret poo, so they're not as inclined to go there again. So I hope that helps you guys in training your ferret a little bit more to go in the litter box. So thanks for watching.